Hello everybody, how are you? This is Andreja, and in today's drawing time video I will finally complete my Christmas charms trio. I had Jess and Brie already done last year, so the only girl I have left to do is Cassie. I want her to hold a couple of presents, and then for her hair decoration I want to give her some adorable oversized bells. I think she will match with the other girls really well that way. As always, if you want to know what computer, tablet or programs I use, I have all of the info listed in the description box. My goal with this design is to have the charms ready and up on Etsy by the time this video goes live. So unless something goes really wrong, there should be a link to my Etsy store with the listings in the description box. I really want to have all three designs for sale at the same time, so let's hope things go as planned. Quick question before I continue. Were you by any chance interested in a studio room tour video? The last one I've done was from the old apartment, and since then I've moved to a new location and changed most of the furniture to be more functional and to give me more storage space. So I don't know if it's maybe something you would like to see and get an update on. But yeah, let me know. Alright, let's start with the Q&A, shall we? Question number 1. How do you deal with the little pieces of fluff or dust that stick to wet sealant? I tried removing it with a needle or tweezers, but they either pull off my sealant or don't even remove the dust. Honestly, that is what I was going to suggest. I usually use an X-Acto knife to do just that. But if you're having issues with ruining your layer of sealant, then I would suggest to do your best in sealing and drying your doll in an environment that does not have much wind, dust or dirt around it. This is why I highly recommend using a small portable oven as your craft oven, which you use for dolls and other similar projects. That way you will keep your doll's head in a clean and safe enclosed space while it dries. Plus, if you set that oven to 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, it will dry super fast too. If you don't have 20 or 30 bucks for a portable oven, then using a box, be it plastic or paper, should do the job too. It's all about protecting your doll's head while it is still all sticky when drying. If you want to know more about using a mini oven for sealing purposes, which brand and type I got, how much I paid for it, and what are other benefits of using one, I have a video talking all about that as part of my Back to Basics series. I think it should be episode 4 if I'm not mistaken, so have a look. Next question, how did you develop your style? Do you have an inspiration behind it? Did you go to school for it? This applies to your drawings or doll repaintings. So I told the story of how I learned to repaint dolls many times before, but to quickly summarize it, I got the very basics of face-ups explained by my ex-schoolmate's sister. We had a quick online chat and she went over the basic materials and steps. Then everything else was learned with a ton of practice, trial and error. I did not take any classes at that time. There were no video tutorials that I knew of. I just sat down and invested a lot of time reading forums where people were discussing and sharing problems or experiments surrounding this topic. And yeah, I learned a lot from there as well. In terms of inspiration, anything can pretty much inspire me. I don't use a specific source or artist for my main inspiration. I just, live my life and naturally experience things or see stuff that influence me. Then in regards to style, I think that style is something that constantly changes and develops. It's not a closed room, it morphs and expands as you grow as an artist. It is really hard to say from my side how exactly I developed my style, since in itself my style is not set in stone. I guess I just do what feels interesting, beautiful and fun at that moment in time. I don't think about it that much, to be honest, while I am drawing something or working on a face-up. Even for this illustration, for example, I had to make sure to give Cassie the same overall look to match with the other two designs, Jess and Brie. But even though the base of the vector chibi was the exact same, I still struggled because since last year when I drew Jess and Brie, my rendering style changed already. I've changed my rendering style in many subtle ways, like the way I rendered the hair and clothes, or even the style of my strokes. Like, for example, the weight is different and the way I pick colors and how I color the strokes is different. It is really interesting in a way to see all these differences that happened within this past year, and to be honest, they all happened quite naturally and subconsciously. It's just, you develop as an artist and you try different things, and one day you just do something a little bit different, and then you keep tweaking every new project little by little, and then suddenly your style is quite different. But yeah, I don't really think about my style that much. As I said before, I just do what looks nice, I guess. But yeah, basically, if I colored Cassie the way I colored my recent Zodiac chibi, she would probably not match with Jess and Brie very well. I am not sure if this answered your question, but I tried. Okay, one last question for the day. Was it hard when you first tried doing a face-up to a doll? Well, I did do a lot of research, so I knew roughly what to expect. What was a bit of a surprise that was never mentioned to me is how challenging it is to draw on a three-dimensional surface compared to a flat surface. That was one of the things that really stayed with me in terms of what I felt was the most difficult thing to get used to. And for me, it was definitely switching from paper or tablet to a doll face. I've been drawing most of my life, so it was a bit frustrating at the start because I was unable to make the strokes as accurate and thin as I was able to draw them on paper. It took a while to teach and adapt both my brains and hands to this new way of drawing. Now that I think of it, Yeah, especially my hands. They were so shaky when I just started painting face-ups because I was not leaning on my hand and arm like I was used to when drawing on paper. So my hand was very unstable and trembling like a leaf. But then with time I learned how to control it, and a big part of that was connected with my breathing actually. I always hold my breath when painting face-ups nowadays. I learned that holding my breath really helps in stabilizing my shaky hands. So that really helped a lot. And then when I told my friend what I was doing and what was helping me, he said, "Oh, you're just like an archer. They usually hold their breath to have more control." So yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting thing to hear, and it does make sense in a way. Alright guys, this is it for the Q&A. And here you can see the very final result of our drawing time. I really hope you like Cassie. Many of you asked when I was going to draw her, so here you have her. I will order the charms as soon as possible to get them by the time this video is live. Right now I only have Brie and Jess in charms form. I'm sure you've seen them before. But I can't wait to receive Cassie and finally complete the set. I think they will look so cute all together. Anyways, this is it for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment and share. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I will talk to you again really soon. Bye!